All right, we are live. Sorry about the late start. I ran downstairs to grab water, and I had three little furry friends follow me back upstairs that wanted to play, and so I had to pull pull evasive maneuvers on the dogs. But yeah, we're live, Brad. How's your day?
How's my day? My day
Yeah.
was good. Like 30 minutes ago, I was running pick and roll with a Big Ten football legend, I would say. I think he was all conference back in his day. I'll look it up. Can you guess who it is? I'll give you some clues. I'll give you
Can I guess which former Big Ten football player you were playing pickup basketball with in Chicago half hour ago?
half hour ago. Yeah. Wisconsin tight end.
Oh God, Fumagalli?
Yeah, he was Big Ten tight end of the year in 2017, and it was Troy Fumagalli. He's got a good jump shot
No
on him. We were running
way.
some good pick and roll. Yeah. Yeah, Jake Butt shows up every now and then. There's some competitive runs over there,
I,
some big
you're
bodies got to
not
deal with.
you're not impressed enough that I just pulled Troy Fumagalli out
No,
of.
that's a good one. Like he probably is one of the more memorable Wisconsin tight ends.
He's the
So
only one I would have been able to guess. I got
no,
to be. But Pitt Hoosiers, right in the chat. Hit the chat before we're even live. 25 more days until football season. Fall camp is in full swing. The title here: Indiana Hoosiers Live 41. Football is in the air. We're here, man. Pads are hitting pads. They got shoulder pads on now. They're out of the spiders. I don't even know what the. Do you know what spiders are, Brad?
spiders like the eight-legged arachnids.
So no, like the foot. There's like I guess my guess is that's what they call like the catapult thing, but
The
I
catapult
don't know.
thing. The
You know what
jugs
catapult
machine.
is? No.
You
Catapult is
talking
like the
football right
company.
now?
Yes, Catapult is if you've ever seen the players wear like black tight like things with the sensors in them.
Oh yeah, no, we never had those.
Actually, I have a buddy who works for Catapult, like is like an engineer, or does something for them. And I asked him one time if you were able to use data to predict a breakout. He told me no. Whoa.
To predict like a breakout player based on the data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really just to make sure your whole team is up to par when it comes to the physical, like the basically just the measurables that you look for at the position. Obviously, at the end of the day, comes down to your ability to execute, know the playbook, things like that. But obviously, you want your team at a certain level physically, and that's kind of where the spiders come into play. I didn't know what they were
Yeah, but
called, but I
John's
know
right.
exactly what you're talking about.
John's right. It's the black bra thing that they all wear, but
Yeah,
that's Catapult. Like tracks like vitals and like it's good for like spotting injuries and seeing if people are like usual like physical output and all that good stuff. But um no, I mean we could sit here and talk all day about BS, but man, there's a lot of football to talk about. We got 6 different pressers, I think. We got 2 Signetti pressers. We got Fisher, Kamara, Pons, Farrell, Coogan. Um, we got a ton of smoke to get to. I was getting into it a little bit with people on Twitter. Like it's just
we're getting
football's back.
closer and closer, and people are still talking about Indiana's schedule. It's pretty ridiculous. It's at a point where it's like, how about you watch some of the clips that they're putting out and just kind of notice how fast and physical they look, especially, that O-line, D-line clip they threw out today. Got me fired up. I
Yeah.
mean, we look so much faster. Obviously, they look big because they're trenches guys, but they look so much quicker than what they did last year. It's scary. Like everything we were hearing about that interior D-line, basically the D-line as a whole, I think it's coming to fruition. And obviously, it's iron sharpens iron. So Signetti said the O-line is the strongest position group. And, if that's the case, D-line looked like they were eating a good bit. So it looks like that's a pretty strong group as well.
Yeah, it's really strong, and I'm glad you went that way because I'm trying to find the exact comment, but I can't pull it up. But somebody asked us under a video, like one of the videos we posted last week, like, why do you guys think the D line's going to be better given the fact that they lost a guy like CJ West? And our response, or what my response was going to be, was going to start with a guy like Jose Wheeler, who is getting a lot of positive press this week from a lot of the guys. And it really starts with the guys like him, guys like Tyreek Tucker, guy like Dominique Ratcliffe. Landino is moving into the 3 tech. We got confirmation from that from Kamara today. You have Daly and Wyatt on the outside just that are going to wreak havoc, and Duke weighs another year older. Like you lost CJ West, but I think and this is like a lot to put on a player, but I think you replaced him with a better player in Jose Wheeler. I think that guy is really good at football. And I think Tyreek Tucker, and I love James Carpenter. James Carpenter was a walk-on. Like Tyreek Tucker is a more talented football player than James Carpenter too. And that's not to say that like I'm guaranteeing they're going to match production, because the production of those guys was, they were very productive, very good football players for a really long time. But the talent level took a step up on that defensive line this year. And the guys who were great last year for them, most of those guys are back, including Mikal Kamara, who's chasing 20 sacks.
Yeah, it's like they bring back their best player from that D-line group, and then collectively they're definitely replacing CJ West ad nauseum, really. I mean, we talk about Hosea Wheeler. That guy could go round 4 if he has a great season. Tucker was one of the high. Tucker and Ratcliffe are some of the highest graded nose tackles in the Big Ten. They have Landino and Ndukwe in the wings, and then not only do they replace Linnell Carr, they upgrade him twofold with Kellen Wyatt and Stephen Daly to, just basically bring more attention to that side of the ball, so we can get Kamara in one-on-one situations. Because if we're double teaming Kamara, Jose Wheeler, Tucker, Wyatt, Daly, those guys are going to eat. That's just how it's going to go, and it's just going to be really difficult for teams to game plan against, because you look at Wyatt, Daly, Kamara, pure pass rush. Wheeler and Tucker are pass rush guys, and all these guys are basically pass rush guys. And then based on the Haynes scheme, they're going to be able to stop the run like they did last year. They're one of the best run defenses in the country last year. And, Ohio State wasn't even able to really run the ball on us, which I thought was really impressive. Besides, obviously, that one, chunk play at the end, which made it not look as impressive. But, it's, it's definitely an upgrade. I mean, yeah, we lost 2 NFL draft picks to this team, but, I've said this before, there's at least 7 on this roster right now. So it's...
Well, yeah, and you said, like, Wheeler could potentially go in the 4th round. Like, I'll just toss this out there. This was a note from Taylor tweeted this out from Bite Size Bison, from today's Bite Size Bison. He said Wheeler played 62% of his snaps in 2024 outside the B gap. That's 7th out of 286 qualified FBS defensive tackles. He's the 3rd largest defensive lineman on Indiana's roster this year. So just think about that athleticism at that size. Like I don't put self-imposed limitations on anybody, but that he might end up being like the best player on that defensive line. Like, that might be crazy, but
West is just a completely different player than Wheeler too. I think that's something that needs to be said. Like West is he has pass rush ability, but I'd say his strength is definitely just eating O-linemen and opening up holes for Fisher and who was that other guy? Jalen Walker last year, allowing them to make plays and really just being an absolute run stuffer. And
Jay Walker was the man. Freaks.
Yeah, I know. I'm blank. I'm so locked into this year where it's like I'm almost leaving 2024 behind. It's at that point. They're just completely different players, and I think collectively they definitely replaced him at nauseum. Just considering Tucker's back, they bring in Ratcliffe and Wheeler. Landino's waiting in the wings. Like, basically, they only rolled with Tucker, West, Carp, and then at times Landino last year. It wasn't a whole lot of anyone else. So they got 4 legit guys they're gonna that could probably do 50 snaps a game and be very productive, which I think is really exciting, because they're not necessarily like Landino and Ratcliffe, I don't know, are necessarily going to play 50 snaps a game, but they're definitely going to play a ton.
It's the depth that we've just been hammering for weeks that is just different about this Indiana team. I want to hit a couple or 3 stat corrections before we jump into the rest of the smoke. In my excitement about the D'Angelo Pons Many Men edit, I called it Rosenthal Sports. It's Rosenhaus Sports, very prestigious, very well-known NFL agency. They rep a lot of really high-level players, so apologize to those guys. Ton of respect for what they do in that space, and obviously when an agent like that is representing a player like D'Angelo Pons, that tells you more than anything you need to know about how he's viewed in those NFL circles. So shout out to D'Lo, shout out to those guys.
It's just so confusing that he comes off a year where he's probably the best corner in the Big Ten that year. He comes back, and then all of a sudden he's ranked the 4th best corner in the Big Ten. It doesn't make any sense. He's being so disrespected right now. Like we talk about Coop getting disrespected all the time. I don't think we've talked enough about Pons getting disrespected. He is top 5 player in the Big Ten this year. I actually truly believe that top 5 players in the Big Ten are those 2 dogs at Ohio State, and then it's our 3 dogs on defense that we have. I think those are the top 5 best players in the Big Ten going into this year. Obviously, you can maybe throw a Drew Aller in there, but it's tough though. With quarterbacks, there's so much ebbs and flows with that position where it's really hard to be sustainable over time. So it's hard to put him top 5, but that's what I would go with my top 5. And a lot of people don't feel that way.
John says, Goom, a couple weeks ago, you asked what the standard for basketball should be. The way you feel right now about football is the standard for basketball. Oh, listen, this is
I'm a
football
realist.
season. I'm not like it's football season. Moving forward, Kalon Black. We're gonna talk about people who are being slept on. A lot of people are sleeping on Kalon Black. He was named to the Freaks list, Bruce Feldman's Freaks list, number 58. That came off the back of a 40-inch vert, 415 pounds on the bench, which Mikhail Kamara said he moved like butter, and a 500+ pound squat.
Ridiculous. Yeah, the first ever non-Blake Thierry winner of Blake Thierry Freak of the Week goes to Kalon
Yeah, that's
Black
crazy.
Awesome for
shout
him.
Shout out to KB.
It's so funny because we talk about this running back room all the time. It's like, okay, we got Hemby dog, Lee Beebe dog. Is that going to be like Lawton and Ellison like it was last year, or is Black going to come into play? And then you have a guy like Black just kind of waiting in the wings, super disrespected with his 77 rating on NCAA. And crap, I need to break down the running back production real quick.
People forget KB, one-time Virginia Tech commit. If you listen to Sig talk about bringing him to James Madison, he's like stunned he ended up there in the first place. Like, they think the world of this kid, and he's a great leader, and he obviously puts the work in. Like, I'm super pumped for his year.
Yeah. So Elijah Green never really got legitimate like in-game carries last year, so I'm going to discount him. Black did it at times when he was healthy. So last year when Ellison 800, Lawton 600, and then Black came in at 250. So in terms of allocating that to this group, do we have potentially 3 guys that can get 500 yards on the ground this year? That's something I was thinking about today.
We have 3 guys.
Is that going to be the spread the wealth that we do this year? Like, I don't see it being a Hemby 1,000-yard year with the amount of talent that we have. It could be 3 guys getting 600 yards this year, 500 yards. Obviously, maybe leaning, in order, Hemby, Black. I don't even know. What it's going to end up. It's not even a question mark. Like, I know they're all going to be good. It's just the question mark in the sense, like, who is it going to be? I think it's like they were the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles last year. I'd say it's more so this year, where it's like it really is 3 RB1s that we have at our disposal, and that's just really off. That's awesome. Behind that, we don't have a ton of playing experience, but the top 3 is best in the league for sure. I mean, maybe Penn State probably has their third strings probably at 5
Penn
stars.
State,
Maybe
Penn State's got a really good room. Ohio State's got a really good room, but like they're up there though. These are the conversations. Oregon's probably got a great room, but
that, like, they're right there with them, right?
These are the conversations that Indiana is now in it's driving people crazy, and that brings me to my next point: is the closer we get to the season. Oh, go ahead.
All 3 were leading rushers on a Division I team at a point in their career. All 3 of them. I don't know how many teams have something like that. Probably not many. Possibly 1.
It's a luxury that most people don't even realize we have.
Yeah.
But as we get closer to the season, the noise and energy from opposing fan bases is starting to ramp up. You'd think after an offseason of getting told that Indiana is irrelevant that nobody would care going into the start of this year, but like the people could not be more upset that Indiana football is good. I sent out a tweet basically saying that the notion that Indiana didn't play anybody last year is silly because they played the 2 best teams in the country, like down a man on the road. And people were like, "Oh, this guy's flexing wins and what happened, or flexing losses, and like what happened in those games." Blah, 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 blah. Like, people must
such a double standard because people flex losses all the time. It's literally what the
I'm not
SEC
flexing the losses.
The
that wasn't even the point. Like people, like
I know.
The point of that was like people were saying that Indiana like played nobody. They only played cupcakes. And the fact of the matter is, they went into the two of the hardest environments in college football and got real game experience and honestly got their teeth kicked in a little bit. But like
they probably needed it.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fact that you don't think that translated to making these guys better. Like you have Aiden Fisher, D'Angelo Pons, Mikhail Kamara, 3 All-Americans who were experiencing these things for the first time. Like Carter Smith, who wasn't experiencing these things for the first time because he was at Indiana. But it's like you don't think these guys banked all of that information and tried to get better and learn from that? Like that's crazy to me. So like to say that you need to like throw out any of the experience from this Indiana team from last year because they didn't win those games is silly. And that was the point I was trying to make is like these guys are coming in with a lot of big game experience. Like these aren't just power, like outside the power four, like Sunbelt football players anymore. Like these dudes have Big Ten battle scars. Like they're going to be more ready for these moments than they were last year. And that's going to matter.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more.
Let's get to the coaches poll. Scott Bandy says there's no way that there are five teams better than the Hoosiers in the Big Ten. I agree with that. That's not what the coaches poll says, though. The coaches poll dropped yesterday, and obviously that's what everybody's going to cling to until we actually get real football. And so this is where all the misconceptions for this season are going to be based off of. Is like, where did the team rank in the preseason? When in reality, who knows where any of these teams rank, right?
Exactly. If I had to do it, I've said this before. If I had to do preseason rankings, I would just take the rankings from end of year, the previous year, and just make that the week one ranking. I think that would be like the most non-biased way to do it. To be honest.
all 12 playoff teams from last year were ranked this year.
Yeah, deservedly so, as they should be. They're playoff teams. To be honest, Tennessee being above us irked me a little bit. I'm just like, all right.
They don't even have a quarterback. Like, what are we talking about? That's what I'm saying. These are Ole Miss in front of us, like the most undisciplined team in the country. Like, they're like, no, actually,
I can hear out any other argument of the teams in front of us besides Tennessee. Like, I'll hear it out. Tennessee, I just won't hear it. I won't.
Of the 6 Big Ten teams that were ranked, I was a little surprised Ohio State nudged out Penn State, but you give it to the champs, I guess. Ohio State was 2, Penn State was 3, Oregon was 7, Illinois 12. So I don't want to hear it about Indiana's schedule anymore. They play 3, 7, and 12, and they played 3 and 7 on the road. Michigan was 14. A lot of love for Bryce Underwood, or at least for the rest of that roster. So we'll see how he's able to play. Michigan and Notre Dame are kind of in the same spot. I know that's not the goal to talk about those teams, but like if those 2 freshman quarterbacks hit, those are 2 like loaded rosters. If those 2 freshman quarterbacks play like freshmen, then
yeah,
I don't know. And then Indiana at 19.
Michigan was unranked, correct?
No, Michigan was when? To end the year last year?
Coaches poll.
No, they were 14.
Okay. Must have missed that.
And Indiana was 19. And then Iowa just missed out.
Yeah. Indiana played 2 preseason top 10 teams last year, Ohio State and Michigan. Same thing this year. They do get the extra Illinois game because they didn't play any other preseason top 25 teams on their schedule, which is the reality. Not saying the schedule is weak. We still played Washington, Nebraska. Like, I wholeheartily think, like, I think people don't give. It's like someone has to go 8-4. Someone has to go 7-5. Doesn't make them a bad team. I truly believe that. Like, conferences eat themselves. I thought there was great ball being played in the Pac-12, but it was so competitive top to bottom to where Washington State could sneak up on a ranked Arizona and beat them every once in a while. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, Arizona wasn't that good. It's like, no, they have Mike Leach who runs spread and they're really hard to guard. They're just really hard to game plan for. And these things happen. And I think people just don't give enough credit to like playing the Washingtons, playing the Nebraskas, playing the USCs, playing the even the Wisconsins and the Iowas and the Minnesotas. Like there's a ton of good teams in like they're just consistently like good, well coached. Like maybe this isn't Minnesota's like glory year, but they're still gonna go 7-5. They're gonna row the boat. They're gonna bring it every day. They're not a team that you can just kind of, oh yeah, it's just Minnesota. Like, no, that's not how it goes. There's no weeks off in the Big Ten. There isn't.
Completely agree with that. Pitt Hoosier says AP poll drops next Monday. Great. We get to react the same way again. Do you know who McCoy is that Fat Boy's referencing in the...
Is that Brew McCoy? He's still playing football? That's insane.
There's no way it's Brew McCoy, dude.
McCoy still playing? Well, clearly not anymore.
Yeah, Michigan higher than us for the freshman quarterback. Yeah, there's a lot of...
He's talking about cornerback Jermon McCoy. That's what he's talking about.
That's not great.
Not
I know
McCoy.
they ended up with
5-star flop. You know, he's one of those 5-stars where it's like, okay, he's a grown man playing high school football, so it's like, yeah, he's a 5-star. There's so many guys like that. Like,
yeah, the All-American corner.
That's not Robertson.
That's not a good injury at all. I know Colton Hood just ended up over there, so hopefully he's able to to help out. But
Yeah, they have Hood and Ricky Gibson still, so they'll be all right.
yep. And then Nebraska was 5-1 when we played them, and 26th in the country and 25th in the coaches poll. But like we kicked the shit out of Nebraska. Nobody wants to give them credit for being a semi-decent team, so it's like that's okay. Part of me gets
It's because they
frustrated.
lost to Indiana 56-7, so it's like the brain just moves it to like, oh, they suck. Like you can't.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, when you lose to anyone to 56-7, that is kind of the conclusion you can make. Like they lost to Ohio State that way. By the way, people forget they only lost to Ohio State by a touchdown literally the following week.
At Ohio State.
At Ohio State. Yeah.
The Daily Hoosier posted a video of the safeties going through drills. Byron Baldwin Jr. just glides on turf. The dude's super impressive. Amari Farrell was talking about him again today. We'll get into the pressers in a little bit, but just like that dude's just a really talented football player, and he's like it's going to be really difficult to keep that guy off the field. Jaja Boyd is a really free mover as well. It's nice to see him back out on the field doing drills. I know he missed a large chunk, if not all of last year, getting injured early. And then obviously the vets in the room, like your Farrell, your Bonds, your Louis Moore, and your Boyd, like those guys are just pros, man. Like they just
Farrell looks like an NFL player. It's kind of scary.
Farrell is built like an NFL player for sure.
Yeah, he can play NFL safety. Like that's the difference. Like, yeah, we had Jazz Johnson, who we all thought was like Jazz Johnson was 5'11", like 195. I mean, this Farrell cat, he's legit 6'2". They list him at 200. I mean, he looks like he could push 210. Easy.
I'm glad you said that because Jamar Johnson is the guy that I was thinking about.
That's Jazz Johnson, same guy.
Yeah. And then I also said that Johnny was playing right guard. He was playing left guard. But yeah, watching the safeties move was great. We don't get a ton of practice clips. I know we've seen a little bit of like Fernando throwing or like some of the running backs going through drills. I know we got the line work today, but it's like obviously a lot of that is going to be skewed and ambiguous because that's kind of how SIG rolls. It's not just going to be open practice. You're not going to get free film on the Hoosiers. We posted.
Yeah. I agree. I don't want it that way. I don't want too many clips out there. But even though as selfish as it may be, I want more. But you make a good point. Probably shouldn't have too much tape on our secret weapons like Mario Landino and Duke Way and Jaja Boyd. I don't want people knowing about them until
it's too late.
Till it's too late. Basically,
like there was, I forget, one of the guys who transferred out of Indiana posted like practice film or like spring film or whatever, and it just I felt weird watching it or like grimy watch. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I mean, DB room is Indiana at the Voice of College Football's favorite room. I'm not going to say I hope our O-line is our best room and our D-line is our second best room because that would be awesome. That means we're probably really good. But always my favorite just because, just look at 15 guys here. And I mean, I was watching little 33 Garrett Reese. He looks big already for a true freshman.
He is massive too. And he's a guy who wasn't around. He wasn't around in the spring. Reese was not here in the spring.
Well, they still give him even though you're not there in the spring, they still give you a little pamphlet and a workout.
No, yeah, but you got to go do the work.
Kind of do on your own time, yeah.
And you got to do it.
He clearly did the workout plan and came ready to do. I mean, that's just the type of guy Ignite brings in. I mean, I don't think, if you don't do the workout plan, you come in not up to par. Like, you end up like, oh, God, I can't name drop guys that hit the portal. I can't do it.
No, I don't. That's not the point.
Yeah, you don't like me. You don't like it when I do that.
No, I don't. The point is to uplift the program and talk about the good things. Like I don't want to talk about like the negative things, like the past things like that. I want to look forward. One of the things that hopefully happens in the future, we posted the smoke video with D'Angelo Pons and 50 Cent on the cover, obviously because of the Many Men 50 Cent. Angelo quote tweeted that he said, "Let's get 50 Cent to Bloomington," and so I'm all aboard that. I don't know who we need to talk to, which direction we need to shout in, or how loud we need to be, but yeah, I'm with that. Let's get 50 Cent to Bloomington. That would be absolutely awesome.
Text Curtis myself. How about that? I'll just text him.
Yeah. You and Curtis are our first name basis.
Yeah, we're tight, bro. Like we're like this, honestly. I'll just hit him up and
sweet.
Yeah. I got this one, guys.
Brad's got it. Hell yeah. Summer of Brad.
No, but like a little social media buzz wouldn't hurt either, He likes feeling wanted, this Curtis guy, So we got to really show him some love, and I think it's possible. We come out of Eugene 6-0. I think he's gonna show up for the Michigan State game. I'll say that.
I don't even really want to talk about this. I wrote down the Dinich debacle.
Who cares?
And I don't want to talk about it only for the fact that it's not worth putting stake into much that she says. I do just want to point out the fact that like it is a clear agenda push from ESPN, and this is something Signetti did not shy away from at Big Ten Media Day. He openly admitted this, that or not admitted, but like openly stated that like they felt the heat from both that network and from the South. I just think it's important to put into perspective that anytime you see a post with an ESPN in their bio or ESPN in their handle or something, like almost guarantee it's going to be negative towards Indiana, and that's the agenda they're pushing. And it's like anybody who says anything different is lying to your face.
Exactly. I think I don't like what Heather Dinich is doing, but I think people should just ignore her due to the fact that I really do think that it's not necessarily, I think there is obviously an SEC agenda push at SEC, but I think for Heather Dinich specifically, I think she's trying very hard to not be IU biased to the point where she's just basically disregarding them completely, which I think, could be construed as fair, right? If that's how you want to run your business, sure. If that's how you
I mean, I think it's, I really just think it's as cut and dry as she works for ESPN.
If that's the case, it's either way, just ignore her. Like,
exactly. And that's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point. You know what I'm not going to ignore? I'm not going to ignore how sparkly the diamonds on Elijah Surratt's watch was on the Joe Cronin video we got today. They asked him about D'Angelo. They asked him about D'Angelo Pons and like what it's been like watching that dude like develop from JMU. And he said the first time he like lined up again like across from him, it was like, oh, I'm just gonna go catch a fade ball on this guy. But he's like, nah, it's just not how that works out. No, with the angle that I think it was Joe Cronin who took the video, that the watch was sparkling, and that tells me that those boys are being compensated nicely, and that's what I like to see.
I mean, we knew. I mean, what car does Surratt have? You were telling me last week he's the Charger, right?
Yeah, the Scat Pack.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and good. These guys
hopefully can move as fast as this car this year. That'd be awesome,
dude. When you produce the way these guys produce, and you have the high character that these guys have, like that's where the NIL money should go. Like these guys should be very comfortable.
If you go first team all Big Ten, you get a car. All right, that's how it should work. That's how NIL should work. All right, shouldn't be paying high schoolers $10 million. It should be like you get all conference, you get a car. All right, like it should be incentives. We
got another Edward Catone edit. Edward Catone is a master, a wizard with the edits. He is, every time he comes out with something, I definitely make sure I watch it. I save it. I'm going to go back to it multiple times. It was something of like, I think it was a Mike Kada cameo of like, we have the guys, we have the juice. Like, and it was just, it was epic.
That fired me up. And when
I wanted to like run through a wall or
was
something.
Literally like they got Coogan, who's like better than me. He's at center now. Like that was awesome. Like he's so funny.
It was sick. It was sick.
Yeah, like the boys are gonna be buzzing. Like he spoke some high words about Mendoza, which got me really excited. And I mean, he's a guy who's been in that locker room. He knows what's gonna happen. He knows they're gonna come out swinging,
blazing.
Now, I do always say, sometimes the day just doesn't go your way, right? But we know the team is always gonna be fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined, poised, 11 guys doing their jobs. And it's never going to stop. And we're going to come out and we're going to, we got 4 really good opportunities to make some real noise this year. Well, obviously we're not looking over anyone on our schedule, but I think it's kind of a theme where every year we kind of circle 4 games because we did it last year. Now we're doing it again this year, the 4 key games. And yeah, that's, I really don't see like, talent wise and just the way we're coached, it's going to be really hard for someone to upset us, in my opinion, just based on how we go out and execute all the time. But, we got opportunities to make some real noise this year. At Oregon is the big one that I'm looking at. Obviously, I'm not going to put self-imposed limitations. Would be awesome to go into State College and just come out of there with a win, 11-0. How awesome would that be? That'd be like that could potentially be one of the best days of my life.
It would be well, the last time Indiana beat Penn State was one of the better days of my life. So listen, it's definitely not out of the it's like that's realistic. Like this is a really good football team. And to like PK said in the chat, like I think Jared Kelly tweeted about Mendoza had like a roll left 60-yard 40-yard laser like into the breadbasket today. That was just like, I wish that was on video. But it's like this dude is the arm. The way the people around the program who have seen a couple practices are talking about this dude's arm talent, you would think Andrew Luck is on the field right now for the Hoosiers. Like it is.
Trying to tell you, dude. I was trying to let you know,
dude. They're like we've never seen arm talent like this. Like this is guys like this don't come through Bloomington. Like this is something different. The guy's different. The zip on the ball is different. I mean, he had a throw, and I know this is like these are bogus routes, but like not bogus routes. These are practice and routes on air and stuff. But he was on the far hash throwing to either the numbers or even outside the numbers, like dotting up receivers with velocity. Like you could hear the ball whoosh. Where it's like a lot of guys are losing velo when they're making that throw. It's like it's the dude's impressive.
I mean, what have I been saying? I've been saying they're stealing my whole flow. I was telling you that. I've been trying to tell everyone. I've been trying to tell. You know, the last time we've beaten Penn State in Happy Valley?
Oh God. Probably in like the 1940s.
Well, Penn State joined the conference in the 90s. So so we are actually 0-13 straight up in Happy Valley.
So Happy Valley is the whole center.
If you know anything about me, that my mind only goes to so we're due. We're due. You can't go.
It's a baseball mentality, Brad.
You can't go over 14. That'd be insane.
We are due. We definitely do. Derby says, does anyone know how the O-line is shaping up? Last year we started the season down a guard. Brad, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so last year probably went into the season with about 7 playable guys with Stevens and Kidwell and Drew Evans. Kidwell was the projected starter. And we actually don't know for sure because Kidwell got hurt in the offseason. So we don't know if it was Kidwell and Drew Evans or Tyler Stevens and Drew Evans in the wings. But really, we only had 7 playable guys that we felt confident in. Going with this year, it feels a little bit different. We got, should I just break down what it's going to look like? Left tackle, Carter Smith, all conference. Bray Lynch and Drew Evans are your guards. We got Coogan lining up in the middle, and then Zen Mikowski's looking like he's in line to be that right tackle. And then we got Khalil Benson, a veteran. Stevens was a drop-off because he, James Madison guy. But Benson is a much better option than a Tyler Stevens, right? But he's going to be that, a guy that can play 4 different positions on the O-line and brings a lot of gameplay experience to the room. And then obviously the young guys that we're very high on, Austin Livefried and Ajani, are ready to go. Ajani looked huge in the clip I saw of him. Livefried is just nails.
Ajani looks great.
I just know Livefried's nails. And yeah, everyone else, obviously, people can surprise me, but like 8 guys I know for sure the team would be like, okay, fine, they're the starter. Like that's a great luxury to have. And we lost 2 starters. But yeah, the math checks out. We were 7. I guess if you're not including Tyler Stevens, then you're
16. Not including Kidwell. It's not including Kidwell because he was kind of in fact. Technically, we went into the season with 6 offensive linemen.
Yeah, technically we did go into the season with 6. This year we got 8 plus, a Jack Greer, Verstegen. Evan Lawrence is in year 2 in the program. So I'm sure those guys, like there are 10 guys that aren't true freshmen in that room. And I think that's a huge thing because that was not the case last year.
The future is
really all bright. Signetti guys too. They're all Signetti guys at this point.
The future is very bright. And shout out to Jamie Jordan. He wrote an article for Hoosier Huddle about the class of 2025, maybe some underheralded guys, people that aren't going to get talked about as much this year. He highlighted Tristan Abram and Baylor Wilkin, who according to, I believe it was his dad, is now up to 294 pounds, Baylor Wilkin, as a true freshman.
I could see Wilkin being that. I haven't met my 3rd string right tackle right now, but I could see him just versatility is kind of what screams to him. Like he can plow guys. It seems like he has tackle athleticism.
Hey, he was at one of the All-America games.
He's a lot like Bray Lynch coming into the program. Bray Lynch came in as an undersized guy. I think he was around 275 when he walked on the campus. Obviously was a legend at Westlake in Austin and was a huge recruit despite being a little undersized, but he brought a lot of versatility and where it was like, where's Bray Lynch going to play? Is he going to play center? Is he going to play tackle? Is he going to play guard? No one knew. And that's how I see Baylor Wilkin. I'm excited to see how he progresses throughout his career. Number 61, which is a psycho number, by the way. Like
I love it for an offensive line.
Like cool number. Like 61 is one of those uncool numbers. And so the fact that
I don't know.
No, it is. It is. There are cool numbers and there are uncool numbers. 61 is one of those uncool numbers, and it's really hard.
I feel like you're a true
lineman. I've had
conversations. You probably don't get it.
I've had conversations.
You probably don't get the. I doubt he had choice number 1 for jersey number.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't, but I think there's. Let's see what others he could have maybe gone with. I don't think there's a 66 on Skull. Oh no, Parker got that one.
As I say, if they went by age and then went by last name, he was probably last.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but
like, I do like that the scholarship guys are 60 through 70, which makes things, or 79, which makes things really easy in your program. So yeah, I mean 61, sure. I mean 68 is available. Yeah, he could have gone 68. He could have gone 69.
I'll be on record. I like 61.
All right, that's cool. I don't, and it's okay.
You don't have, and that's okay. And that's
like it's like remember my Bones Jones take that he wears 46 like a lunatic. It's like the same thing with Baylor Wilson. Like why are you wearing that number? That's scary. You're scaring me. You literally don't care what number you wear. You just want to go out there and kill people. That's
exactly.
Cool. I like that.
I feel like that's Ro Hardy.
Yeah, he wears 2-1 though. 2-1's sick. That's a good number, especially at linebacker. That's a DB number, you know. DB running back.
All right, let's jump into the pressers, Brad, because we got a bunch of them to cover. We got Signetti on day 1. Shout out to I believe it was Daniel Flick. Shout out to Daniel Flick for asking this question because I've literally openly asked this question multiple times. He said, "Where did Ro Hardy come from?" Basically, was the question.
Yeah, we have no idea. Actually, he just popped in and out. He just spawned and was like, "Oh, greatest player of all time, 99." He should be 99 in NCAA. He might be the best player on the team that no one knows about, but he's a true sophomore. So it's like he's just a little younger, a little more raw, but he's our youngest starter on the team, and yeah, love that he's on campus. 0-star recruit out of some sort of naval academy, but he's from Florida. So I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
Did I cover that?
He was found and scouted by none other than Brian Haynes, who's surprised. And Signetti said he has a bright future.
Yeah, of course he does. Super athletic. Reads defenses very flawlessly, especially as a freshman. I mean, he was making so many plays in that Michigan State game. Yeah, he's awesome. Excited for his season this year. And yeah, I'm calling my shot now. He's going to get a pick 6 in the Oregon game.
I love it. He's probably going to get a pick 6. He's probably going to have 15 pick 6s.
He might have 15.
the ball just finds that guy somehow. It's insane.
Like, these guys don't know ball when they don't have him on the Big Narek watch list, or what's the Nagurski, you know, because he's going to have 15 pick 6s, 120 tackles. He's going to be 10 forced fumbles. He's going to be insane. At least based on the rate in which he was doing it last year in terms of snaps per pick 6s.
Somebody, God, I definitely don't have it in front of me. But somebody went through and did his like full game, or like if he had like 300 snaps or whatever, his stats, and he would have had like 7 picks and 5 forced fumbles. he would have won the Heisman. Like, he would have won the Heisman. Like it would have been like, obviously that's not realistic. The output is, but like when you have somebody, like I go back to the spring game with Aiden Fisher's comments. When you have somebody like Aiden Fisher who's played so much football, just like flabbergasted at like how you just end up around the football all the time, like that's just the next level ability to find the ball.
Yeah, he's special, man. He's special. And only at 5'11", 225, you got to imagine with those measurables, we got 4 years of that guy. 4.
I love it. I
Gotta
absolutely love
imagine.
it. Bright future, bright future. They asked Sig how he's adjusting to Bloomington. He said everything in his house works now. He bought a house from one of Bob Knight's friends, and he said that not that everything in there was broken because like it was kept really well. Like the guy kept everything well. He just did like him and his wife didn't know how to use anything. He said now they know how to use all the
Too
gadgets in the
fancy.
house.
That's
Yeah.
funny. I thought he already had
um,
a house. So he moved?
no, he's talking about his house from the house he bought.
Okay, the one that he got last year. Okay, cool. Just making sure.
Um, they asked him basically about I can't remember if this was this presser or the other presser, but basically about like what's it like coming back after last year, and he's like, there's a lot of new faces, but everybody starts at zero. But you know the Sig spiel of like,
Yeah.
yeah. Talked about Pat Coogan. He's a perfect fit. Gushed about Pat Coogan. Like we'll get to Coogan's presser in just a second, but it's like can't say enough good things about Pat Coogan. The dude's just a natural leader, and like when you have Sig who like doesn't mention people by accident, just like every second he gets tries to heap praise on this guy, like that tells you everything you need to know.
He's gonna be our anchor this year. I mean, that when we got that commitment, we knew we were in for a special year. Like that was a piece that definitely needed to be upgraded, was upgraded, and upgraded in spades. The dude started in the national championship game just last year. You really can't get any better than that. I don't think you get to the national championship game with some scrub center. I don't think it just doesn't happen.
Full blown agree. And Sig also said they're looking for consistency in performance, both individually and collectively.
Naturally.
Yep. But Coogan's presser was phenomenal. So they asked Coogan about Drew Evans and Khalil Benson being back. He said in the spring they were there mentally. He said it's a big credit to those guys for being around and trying to be as involved as they can be. And he said playing next to Evans is great. That's something that you heard from him. You heard that from Carter Smith. It's really nice to have Drew Evans back on the field. Not that Ajani wasn't capable. Obviously, he's very capable, but Drew Evans has played a lot of productive football.
Play the upperclassman, you know?
Yep.
Play the guy.
On Carter.
Play the guy who was the starter on the Joe Moore nominated O-line last year. It's just huge to have him back because I think that was a big question mark going into last year was the guard play. Like, what is that going to look like? Because we knew we were getting from Carter Smith. We figured Wettig would probably take a step just given his measurables and Bob Bostad. Guard was really like, can we get interior push with Kadick and Evans and Bray Lynch now that Kidwell's out? That was a big question mark, and they answered it in spades. Yes, we're going to run it down your throat. Even if you're Nebraska, who doesn't give up any rushing touchdowns, we're going to put up 5. How about that? So, yeah, Drew Evans.
They asked him about Carter Smith. He said it starts with his build. He's athletic. He's smart. Called him an anchor.
Who? Sorry, I missed
Carter
that.
Smith.
Yeah. I just called Coogan an anchor. What the hell? We got 2 anchors on the O-line. What if we have 5 anchors on the O-line? How awesome.
We've got at least 2. At least two. They asked him about Fernando Mendoza's IQ. He said he could tell right away off the bat that he's a smart kid. But he also said he's never seen him take a math test. So he's like, I don't know how you want me to tell you how smart he is, but he's like, he's a good football player. Yeah. He's like, I don't know. Like, can he do 2 + 2? I'm not sure, but he can play football.
There's different types of intelligence, you know.
I know they're like, it's funny because you can see like they're trying to dig for like a different answer of like, yeah, this dude's like this or he does this, and he's just like, nah, like, I don't know, he's probably pretty smart. Yeah, but like I've never watched him do school. Like,
he might be able to read, probably. I think. I would hope.
They asked him, how is it being at Indiana? Like, is it like weird? Could you have ever seen this coming? Maybe coming up at like in your recruiting process? And he said no, but he's grateful it happened, which makes a lot of sense. Like if you think about Pat Coogan while he was being recruited to Notre Dame, so this is 6-7 years ago, probably. Like that's when we're freshmen in college.
Yeah. Wow.
Like that was a wildly different Indiana football. Well, he's a senior. So he was being recruited as a sophomore or junior in high school, presumably.
Yeah. No, good call out. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, who'd have never thought about joining IU, let alone being like, oh, I'm at IU. Oh shit. Oh wait, I'm actually competing for a national championship here. I'm not actually
That's
just
even
like
that's
getting a
wild.
free education and just calling it a day. Like I'm
Collecting a
actually like
paycheck.
trying to do something. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I'm glad we're here. They asked him what he liked about playing offensive line. He said it's cerebral, which is I love that type of answer from a guy who's like very clearly as physical as Pat Coogan is. Like it's a thinking man's position. You have to be able to think and thought, and the dude is just
Especially center.
yeah.
Especially because they're the ones calling out everything. Usually.
hmm
Usually.
On Coach Bosted, he said he's very intentional in his work. There's no gray area. He's extremely detail oriented. He knows how to get the best out of guys. He knows how to work them, and he's purposeful in everything that he does. And that's like I love Bob Bosted. Every time people talk about him, it just makes me love the guy even more. He's just hard nosed, old school offensive line football coach. Somebody said that when all the guys were like when it rained the other day and everybody went inside to practice, Bosted kept the offensive line outside.
I love that. Yeah, you told us about it last week. I mean, say what you want about Tom Allen. You know, he definitely missed a few hires here and there, but when he hit big.
That is
He
true.
hired Alabama's head coach to be offensive coordinator. I mean, got Bob Bosted
And
here,
their
got Kane
defensive
Womack.
coordinator and their strength and conditioning staff.
Yeah, and then they all got and now they're all at Bama. It's
Mm-hmm.
insane. And great that we were able to keep Bosted. I'm sure Kalen DeBoer was kicking the tires around Bob Bosted as well. Yeah, glad we are able to keep him, and I think he loves it in Bloomington. So I think he'll be here for a long time, and that's a key piece to this program is Bob Bosted. Because like we said, when you talk about stacking weeks, stacking years, stacking days, whatever, big part of that is getting our trenches better. That's probably like almost the most important part. And we have great coaches to take care of that, especially on the O-line, because that's probably arguably the most important part of the trenches is that piece, protecting the quarterback, allowing the Shanahan offense to thrive. And Bob Bosted, he's like, I don't want to like single guys out, but probably the most important position coach that we have. And the fact that it was the one retainee from the Tom Allen staff is really awesome. And glad it worked out for us.
They asked Coogan about the difference between spring and summer, and he said we're not where we need to be at, which I love as an answer because you juxtapose that with the way Signetti's talking about the offensive line, and he's pleased with the way it's coming along. And so if you have somebody like Pat Coogan who's not entirely 100% like satisfied with where they're at, it just fire me up, Brad. Like they're saying the right things every time. Every time.
I mean, we've seen pressers where they're not saying the right things, you know, got Kenny Dillingham calling out his team, Rich Rod calling out his team. Like you just don't see that at Indiana. Just, I'm sure it might happen at some point.
Sig will
might have a bad practice. Sig might come out and say, I think he did it last year too.
Well, he will use his presser strategically, and he did actually in his most recent presser mention that Tyreek Tucker wasn't playing up to his standard in the spring, and said he's come back in a major way in the fall, which has been reflected by a bunch of guys. They asked Pat Coogan who he's been impressed by. He said Wheeler, which was the big quote floating around last week, but he also said Reek, obviously, Rat, Kellen, and Steven as guys that are kind of jumping out at him. And then I'm sure it was like
Reek and Rat.
Reek and Rat.
I like that.
R squared in the middle there.
Reek and Rat. Yeah.
My conclusion was, how did Notre Dame let this guy walk? And I know the answer is going to be like, they had so much talent, and there's I don't know, man. Like that's a very highly productive,
game. It's like you're just going off like it's really hard to self-evaluate.
You're going off of position rankings, and the highest rated offensive lineman is not always the best player. You saw that from all those Wisconsin offensive linemen. You look at the way Iowa builds their offensive line. Like, I'm sure they get 5 stars and such, but not all those dudes are like the highest rated guys. Like to just basically toss aside somebody who played that much football for you and was an emotional leader is definitely a choice, and I'm glad they made it. I'm so thankful this guy's in our program. Like it is. I can't believe they let him walk.
Self-evaluation is one of the toughest things. Like you recruit all these guys, you make promises, and obviously there was a promise made to the other center to where he's going to be the starter this year. if he did a certain amount of things. And clearly that's why Coogan had to hit the portal. And thank God he just goes, 3 out. How far is it? Like 2 hours south, down to Bloomington.
No, it's 4.
Maybe 3. Like
it's
3.
4.
3.
No, it's 4. It's
I'll
4.
call it 3.
It's 4.
It's 4 from my place right now. I'm not even close to South Bend.
Dude, it takes like
we're not gonna argue about it. Anyways,
it takes 2 hours to get to Purdue and another 2 hours from there to get to Notre Dame. I think somebody can check me in the chat. Yeah, they let Spindler walk too, who's a starting guard for them last year as well. So they obviously are really they feel great about their offensive line if they could just let starters walk in the portal. So it's like, cool, we'll benefit from that.
Yeah, and Nebraska will benefit too. Good for them.
Good for Nebraska. Maybe this
they need a win every now and then, all we do is shit on Nebraska. Now we just give him a little pat on the head right now. Oh, good job, Rocco Spindler. That's good stuff.
All right, PK says 3 hours with 69. All right, Brad wins. That's fine. Listen, I'll defend my opinion until I die, but there are certain hills that aren't worth dying on, and if I'm more than happy to admit when I'm wrong. Yeah, well, actually, no, it's funny. I have not been back since they completed. I haven't been back in Bloomington since they completed construction. 70? You can go 70 to Indy. What? Wow.
I didn't even know that. That's huge.
That's an absolute game changer.
Not that I was, not going 70 before, but
shout out to the people of Indiana. Oh my God. Like that, you want to talk about something that was much needed, highly necessary. I'm about to cry tears of joy for this. That's crazy.
I mean, it's the race capital of the world, You gotta,
no, I'm aware.
They gotta be going fast.
And every time I got on and off a plane there, I had to go 40 miles an hour to Indy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. You know what else was incredible, Brad? Aiden Fisher's press conference. Anytime this guy steps up to a microphone, much like Signetti, but for obviously different reasons, I love listening to Fish talk, his perspective, the way he talks about the game and the guys around him, and he's just doing great things. They asked him about team continuity, essentially are you guys ahead this year versus where you were last year? He said we're a lot farther ahead this year, which is really exciting to hear. And again, that's a lot less, or most, if not all of the leaders in place on this football team, it's not their first year in Bloomington anymore. Been there, done that, know the routine, are comfortable, have their place in their apartments or whatever, houses set up, and know where they're getting their food, and just know the people in town. And it's just 1,000 times more comfortable, and it just allows you to be that much farther ahead. And to hear Aiden Fisher acknowledge that they're in a much better place this year than they were last year, knowing that they were one of the best defenses in the country last year, it's just people wonder why we're so confident about this football team. And it's we keep hearing things like this.
What was the record last year?
It was 11-2.
Okay, just wanted to make sure, so they should be, and they're ahead of schedule from that season. Okay, just doing math real quick. Just want to.
They asked him about D'Lo being a leader. He said at James Madison he wouldn't say a word. He said now he's pushing guys to be better. He's bringing guys along, and so it's a really cool evolution of D'Angelo Pons, the leader.
Love that for him. I mean, DBs are naturally quiet. I feel like, I played with a couple NFL DBs back in my day, and they're quiet guys, not necessarily the biggest vocal leaders. And so it's nice, seeing the DB kind of get into it and become a vocal leader on the team, because I don't know, there's just something about that position I think that just makes you quiet, because you kind of got to just it's a mental fortitude thing, I think, that comes with it, because you got to be a goldfish. You got to kind of focus on the next play at all times, not worry about things in the past. So the fact that he's probably doing a great job managing that these days, he can, pay it forward a little bit and share some wisdom.
Well, I actually have a great nugget for you that I'll save it for the Pons presser, because it's coming up next. They asked Fish about being a leader himself. He said it makes him better. Just knowing that other people are relying on him, and having, he didn't say that spotlight, but essentially having guys look up to you, and knowing that you have to set the example, and just having that responsibility makes him a better player, better person. He said they asked him how has this last year been. He said one of faith. He did an interview with I think Matt Forte. I forget the name of it, but it was very faith based. And if that's kind of your thing, definitely go check that out. Like it was I haven't seen it yet, but from the clips that I saw, the quotes that I saw, obviously big Aiden Fisher fan. So definitely go check that out. And he said it's been a surreal ride the last couple years.
I love Aiden Fisher for the captain.
They asked him about the next steps, or how do they take the next steps. And he said it's through leadership. Like the defense is better when he's being a spark plug, when he's being an energy guy. He wants to get better in pass coverage, better at getting off blocks. He said if you're not, constantly sharpening the sword, it's getting dull. And so, and then he said when he was not playing, he started to get into golf. But since fall camp started, he's doesn't have any time to do anything else. It's just football and sleep.
Love that. Love that. That's how it should be. Once we get into August, it's football and sleep only. All right.
Well, you should have heard Kamara talking about it. Well, what the difference between like spring and fall is, and he's like, it's game day every day. He's like, we're full blown game intensity every single day, every rep. I was like, Argh.
God, these guys probably practice so good.
That's so insane.
I would love to just go to a practice, just see it live.
Asked about playing with Kamara. He said he's seen him take so many steps. It's everything you want in a leader. And obviously, as a linebacker playing behind that guy who's just so destructive on the defensive line, has to make his job a hell of a lot easier. On Roe Hardy, he said he really started to pick it up mid-season. They saw flashes of it in practice. He said athletically, he's as good as anybody. So it was really just about understanding the playbook, the football IQ stuff. And once that came along, you see the type of plays this dude's making. It's so interesting because, like you said, Roe Hardy, 5'11", 225, 0-star recruit. Yet, like you hear Aiden Fisher talk about how athletic the dude is, and you watch him make plays, and that can only come from athleticism. And so, this dude's just a freak. He's a freak.
He's my favorite player on the team. I don't want to pick favorites, but he just is. I'm gonna do it. It's Roe Hardy. He's my favorite player, probably because he's not like. So I highlight like the key players on here, and he's not highlighted on here because he doesn't have that necessarily like all conference hype and draft hype yet. But he's that guy where it's like we know he's gonna like next year. Like there's gonna be a lot of Roe Hardy hype going into the next offseason. But we're focused on 2025 right now, and this is the Roe Hardy breakout year, and it's gonna be exciting because we know it's gonna happen.
And then they asked Aiden Fisher about helping the family, sending that the father and his two sons that gift basket, the gear and the helmets and such. And he said he felt a connection immediately. He said he called his mom. They were both crying on the phone together. And he said like he knew immediately they were gonna reached out and said they were gonna help them out. And he just said like he can be a resource for those kids, somebody to talk to based on his experiences. And it's just like you couldn't build a better leader in a lab. Like you couldn't
build a better human,
That's what I'm saying. Like this dude is just such a genuinely good person. And to have that be the shining light in our locker room, like the leading voice, the one everybody's turning and looking at as the role model is like, yeah, man. Like Aiden Fisher is everything that's great about, man. He's everything that's great about college football.
It's guys like
you can
Aiden
put the spotlight on him.
Yeah. It's guys like Aiden Fisher that get you over the mountaintop to win championships. Period. Like, yeah, you can have all the talent in the world, but do you have the best leaders to get that extra oomph? Yeah, this year just feels so special. I feel like all the pieces are coming together. Like having Fish there is so huge. Kamara and Pond's back. Like it feels so special just because Fisher, like having your All-American, linebacker return is one thing, but like having it be the high character guy of Aiden Fisher, I think is just like a whole nother like level to it, right? Like it can be like, you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't like
I know exactly what you're saying.
Just
the impact that he has,
like great leaders or anything like that, is just
his positive impact on the culture and just being around every day and being that leading voice. It is just as impactful as being an All-American on the football field. It just happens to be in the same person, which is like Those
Yeah.
dudes just don't grow on trees. They don't.
When we look back 10 years from now and we're looking at, the glory days of IU and reminiscing on things, like Aiden Fisher is basically the guy who got this whole thing started, right? And yeah, it's guys like that that are the catalysts for program success.
Another catalyst for program success, D'Angelo Pons.
Bang.
In
Yeah.
in D'Lo's presser. He is a dog. They asked him about Byron Baldwin Jr. And on Baldwin potentially following his path of somebody who plays early. He said it reminds him a lot of himself. He's got a lot of energy, brings it every day. Baldwin is somebody who the older guys rave about, especially the guys who like played early as freshmen. Like Amari Farrell said the exact same thing. Is like the dude brings energy. He asks questions. Like he's engaged. Like he's a football player. Like he's just a football player.
Number 2 in your program.
Yep. They asked D'Lo about being a leader. He said it's definitely different. He's being more vocal.
Telling you, DBs are quiet guys. They don't necessarily fall into that role all the time because they got, there's different types of personalities to play that position. So to see him kind of step into that, that's only going to help him come draft day and all the things that they hear.
100%. On Jamari, they said, I think he's going to have a great year, a great season. They asked him about his leadership style. He said it's by example, but obviously he's going to try and be more vocal this year. I think this was my favorite answer when he knew he could be an All-American or at that level. He said first day of freshman practice, he just knew he was different, which was a sick answer. But he said his high school experience, playing, going up against guys like Jeremiah Smith in high school was just something that like prepared him for, essentially to be at that level. They asked him if he felt like if he was getting wiser as he got older. He said he feels like his football IQ is growing. Like he said, he's understanding concepts better and just like the mental side of the game he's picking up, which is insane to hear as somebody who can already shut down half the field that the guy's still getting better.
Well, I mean, DB is kind of just like zone or guard the guy, but I get what he's saying. And that can only be better. I mean, it means that we can run fancier zone concepts and stuff like that and try to trick quarterbacks now. And instead of just like kind of just keeping it in, we can actually, one thing I kept saying last year was like, I would like to see more turnovers. We got a good amount of them because we didn't like our turnover margin was very solid because we didn't turn the ball over. And every now and then we did, but would love to see a lot more picks this year. Not necessarily just like the strips, like those just kind of happen from being physical, which I think will just kind of maintain. Right. I would love to see more interceptions going into this year. And I mean, with the personnel we have, you got Farrell and Pons. There are 2 best ball hawks returning. And yeah, I'm just excited to see some more of that. That's something I want to look for going into this year. And I'll probably into week 1, probably things I want to see. Like I want to see us pick off ODU 3 times. That's what I want to see.
I'm with you. That was one of the things that I picked up from T-Cal went on Three's Indiana show. And they were talking about Indiana's defense last year. And one of the things that was said was Bryant Haynes probably would have liked to play like disguise more coverages, but based on the personnel they had, he was almost forced to show base most of the time. And that's something that Amari Farrell noted in his presser is like the biggest difference between this year and last year is the versatility of that room. And like, yeah, me and you can like say we like the room over and over again because we like a lot of the guys in there, but there's like it's the talent level as well. Like there's a lot of guys who are going to be able to get on the field, and that's going to allow them to do a lot of like present a lot of different looks to the quarterback. They asked D'Angelo about being competitive. He said he doesn't want to allow any catches, not even hitches in cover 3. He says he hates catches. His coaches hate catches. Which I thought was funny. And then they asked him, like, what is the mindset or kind of what does he need to get to the next level? He talked about that one play mindset, just like, moving on to the next play. They asked him about the cornerback 2 competition. He said Sharp and Gandy both have come a long way since the beginning of the spring, but Jamari Sharp will be a great for us this year. It seems like Sharp has the upper hand when it comes to that cornerback 2 spot. It seems like it's definitely his to lose, but that just bodes well for the depth behind him and the different ways that they can deploy those guys in the secondary.
I'm so excited to see what it looks like because that pressure is going to be coming. We talked about earlier with the D line room. That's only going to make it easier for the corner. We're going to probably have a better pass rush than we had last year, which is crazy to say. We had a pretty good one, and it's probably going to be better. It's only going to make the DBs better, more dangerous. They're gonna be throwing ducks out there. Excited to see the boys make plays. Like, we don't even talk about Devon Boykin. That guy's a dog. He's a 2-year starter at NC State when they had a really good defense when he was there, by the way. I think they averaged like 20 points a game, right? When he was there, like, he was on a really good NC State defense and a key guy there. So, I mean, we're just loaded. We're loaded. It's back again. The word of the day.
Loaded. They asked D'Lo about Hollywood Bell. He said he sees a lot of himself in Hollywood. He asked a lot of questions. He's a hard worker. His future is bright. There was a video on Indiana's Instagram, I think, of a couple of the drills, and it had Hollywood and I believe it was LeBron Bond going head to head, which is a cool look. But yeah, you know how much of a fan I am of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's your guy. Obviously he's my guy too, but like, that is your guy. Like how like Hardy's my guy.
He's a Jersey kid at heart, man. That's why. They asked D'Lo what he learned from Aiden and Mikhail. He said leadership. And they asked him kind of when he felt like he took that step as a leader. And this was really interesting. And this was something me and you talked about last year on Sigs Inside. He said that after the Northwestern game, he brought all the defensive backs together and had a meeting basically saying that, like, we need to be better. And they were shut down the rest of the year. They were absolutely ridiculous from that game on. And that's something that me and you had highlighted, being like, basically, we're like, something changed in this room with these guys, whether it was the bye week or something. Looks like it was D'Angelo Pons. That's fucking cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they literally did move Farrell to the safety spot. What are you laughing at? Chat? Armin?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll give you some takes. Like, Purdue, new coach. It's gonna be a tough road. It's gonna be some tough chugging along for Purdue and recruiting trail until they can build some sort of, I don't know, just like relevance. And then Wisconsin, like, that's not. I didn't even know they were struggling in recruiting. Like, it sounds like Fickle's.
No, actually, they're doing a decent. No, I was about to say I would say they're doing a decent job. They ended up, not that Indiana was like, it got to the point where it was head to head between Indiana and Wisconsin, but they went into Indiana and grabbed one of the better receivers out of there. Like, they're not doing poorly. They're definitely, Wisconsin's recruiting is definitely shifted to the fact where, like, we're getting the best offensive lineman in Wisconsin to come into Indiana. And I think that should be a bigger point of concern for anyone who would be a Wisconsin fan.
You want to know who? Well, I mean, Purdue's actually doing okay. They got 19 commits right now. You want to know who's the lowest rated team on the team rankings?
Well, I'll say this, and
I'll say this, and it's 20. The answer's 20.
The lowest? Who is it?
It's Nebraska.
That's funny. No, I think Purdue will be better than people think. I think they have a legitimate chance to push for a bowl game. I really do. I'm not gonna, like, as fun as it is to make fun of them and be like they're gonna be bad, new coach and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know, but I digress.
Hey, why is Notre Dame popping in? Seems very daunted. Man, I would never go to your show. It's all right. Cool.
All right.
Dope.
We got a second Signetti presser on Monday. Actually, the Notre Dame fans stuck around because we're talking about Signetti, and they can't help themselves. That's why the Notre Dame show's here. He said he opened with the quote, "We have a lot to do in a short amount of time," which I thought was funny. He said his top takeaways were day 1 was hot and humid, day 2 was better, day 3 they saw a big leap.
Say that again. Sorry, I was reading the chat. I can't do two things at once. So restart. Action.
He said the tape takeaways. He was asked about, like, what were the tape takeaways from the first 3 practices. He said day 1 was hot and humid. The vets pulled everybody through. Day 2 was slightly better. Day 3 they saw a big leap.
Had a schedule.
Yep. They asked Sig about the obstacles for true freshmen. He said a lot of it's physical plus mental IQ plus maturity level. He said they have a lot of guys that are doing fairly well, but it's still up to those guys with how they handle school and with game prep and all that's everything that comes along with being a student athlete. They are still students at the end of the day. And so basically how does a freshman handle that? That'll determine whether or not they'll be able to get on the field. But like we've been talking about, like the fact that we can see it from the couch, like should let you know that the guys that are watching the tape every day and are in the rooms every day are seeing it with much better eyes. Like they are excited about the guys they have in that room. He was asked a follow-up to that of what's changed about freshmen today versus 10 years ago. And he said you still take the best available and you don't want to count on freshmen helping your team. They can help, but you don't want to count on it.
Love
which
it.
I kind of like.
Yeah.
They asked him about Carter Smith. He said sky's the limit. Said he's having a great camp. He's just showing natural improvement. Really high character kid. You can tell when Sig likes a guy because he just says he's doing well and just leaves it at that. And it's like sky's the limit. Carter Smith, left tackle. It's like, yeah, he's doing exactly what you need him to do. It's like that's what I want to hear about Carter Smith. I don't need to hear anything else. What he does is obviously good enough to be at an all conference level. He doesn't need to be doing crazy things in camp or anything like that. Like just be, chopping wood, getting better every day, all that good stuff. Stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking months. That's all I need from Carter Smith.
I love that Carter Smith goes up against Mikhail Kamara every day for practice. And I love that Mikhail Kamara goes up against Carter Smith because you could argue those are two of the best guys in the conference at that position. And they're just going up against each other every day. I mean, there's a lot of before going into fall camp, there's a lot of we should have talked about what kind of matchups would you want to see if you went to a practice, right? I'd love to see Surratt versus Pons, in a one-on-one drill. I would love to watch. Honestly, I'd probably just watch Mikhail Kamara and Carter Smith go at it all day. That's kind of.
Did you see the clip?
Or Coogan.
You see the clip of
Tucker is another one that I would like to see.
Did you see the clip of Kamara splitting the double team today?
Yeah. I mean, it was a tight end double team, but it was still he did that very fast. that was a very quick double team win, to be honest. And yeah, scary. I'm scared. If you're a quarterback in the Big Ten, I'm scared for you. I'm legitimately scared. If you have Indiana on your schedule and you are a quarterback in the Big Ten, you should be very scared of Mikhail Kamara. Very scared.
They asked Signetti about improving versus sustaining. He said everybody starts at ground zero in January. So it's blank slate and it just moving up. I think the point being that they don't in order to improve, you improve the level of talent coming through the door. It's that clearly the program and the processes they have in place produce results. And so it's keep doing what you're doing. Just improve the level of talent that goes into the system and good things are going to happen.
Yeah, the system works. We already know it does. It's a bunch of group of 5 all-stars. They're able to go 11-2. So bring in some power 4 guys, see what happens, fuck around, find out. Yeah, like you said, stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking months, stacking years. What else we got?
Sig said offensively, or they asked him offensively, how much do you change? He said it's hard to put a percentage on it. You have to build it around the quarterback, whether it's a mobile quarterback or a pocket passer, and you want to put your playmakers in the best position to make plays. So he said, to the average fan, to the naked eye, it might not seem like there are drastic changes to the offense, but it's all tailored to the personnel. They asked him why they kept Carter Smith, and he said there were quite a few guys he wanted to keep. We just couldn't keep them. But Carter Smith decided to come back, and he's glad he did.
What does he mean by that? I thought they kept everyone they wanted to keep.
No, he was talking about when there was a ton, when he first came in. So guys that transferred off that initial Indiana team.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he had to be priority. Priority number 1. Who left in that group? Bedford.
Benson left.
Benson and Bedford, I think, left. Those are the 2 guys that they probably wanted to keep Bedford. Yeah, Bedford went to Carpenter. Was kind of ass, but Bedford is the starter at Oregon now. I mean, we knew Bedford was a damn good player when he was at IU, so that's probably the other guy they wanted to keep.
It was just about staying on the field for him.
Yeah.
And then on Tyreek Tucker, he said we're rotating a lot of guys. He didn't have the greatest spring. He's back to himself now, which is great to hear for Tyreek Tucker. And obviously, this is something we've been talking about, but the fact that they're rotating a lot of guys specifically at that position is not an indictment on the talent level of Tyreek Tucker or anybody else in that room. In fact, just the opposite. They have so many guys who are going to be able to play and be productive that you want to rotate and keep those guys fresh.
Yeah. Because they're going to be getting after the quarterback. They're going to be running more complex schemes this year. It's going to be awesome. Cannot wait to see how the Haynes defense evolves.
They asked him about Kamara, and he said he played as a freshman needing 2 different shoulder surgeries, and he's looking for Kamara to cut it loose every single play. That's the goal for Kamara.
Like I said, I'm scared for quarterbacks in the Big Ten.
And I didn't mention these before, but we got Roman Hemby on the Doug Walker watch list. Kamara is on the Walter Camp watch list, and Mark Langston's on a preseason All-American watch list as well. Shout out to those
Walter
guys.
Camp watch list? That's like the best player in football, right?
Kamara explicitly stated his goal is 20 sacks.
Yeah, no, he totally should be on that watch list. That's a big watch list to be on. Travis Hunter won it last year. It's for college football's most outstanding player. It's basically another Heisman Award, but more so geared toward less quarterback, more so who legitimately is the best player in the country. So like a Caleb Downs could totally be in the running there. Jeremiah Smith and a Kamara with a 17 sack season should definitely be considered there.
Let's move on. Actually, we'll catch up on the chat real quick. SoCal Hot Sauce says, keep up the good work, boys. Based on pressers, which IU player will be giving the best quotes this year? I think it's going to end up being Coogan. I do. I think it'll end up being Coogan. Some more talk about the ACC. I don't even care. All right, cool. Let's talk about
best quotes.
Yeah.
Oh, which player? I can't say Signetti.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably Cougs. Maybe Fish. I'll throw Fish in there.
We got Carter Smith press conference. They asked him about Drew Evans. He said Drew's playing hard. The effort's showing on film. He said he was missing his guy. Demola fit in well, but it's good to have his guy back. That's, again, Drew Evans. I think he was the highest graded PFF offensive lineman on the team before he went down with injury. And so to have that guy back and have that guy healthy is a massive deal. They were one of the best offensive lines in the sport last year.
One of my biggest storylines going into fall camp was Drew Evans and his ability to kind of just acclimate with game speed again. And sounds like everything's going according to plan right now.
They asked him about Pat Coogan's leadership. Like, when did you know? He said day one. He said the guy's loud. He keeps his head up when he's making calls as the center. Like, he's just a really impressive player. And his leadership skills showed immediately.
Love it. Love it.
They asked him what were the major changes under Signetti, and he said nobody's depressed anymore around the facility. He said the mood, it's a lot of smiles. He said, including myself, which is awesome to hear. If you think about how bad it got around the 2023 Hoosiers, like how negative it must have been, I can't even imagine that.
Everyone's
so the fact that
like blowing off like sorry, I interrupted you. Keep going.
No. Go. I was just gonna say, like, Sig literally came in and he was like, "We're gonna change the culture and the brand of Indiana football," and in a year and a half it's not even the same program anymore. It's actually insane to look at.
I mean, week one on the job, dude was pulling off 16, 15-hour days, like trying to get players to play on his team, basically. And I mean, just the amount of work that he's put in to get to where we're at right now, where the Notre Dame show is popping in and calling the Big Ten week, because they're, I guess, maybe scared potentially. I'm not sure. But yeah. I will say Notre Dame's schedule this year is quite impressive. I will say. Not as much ACC as
You
they
know what
usually
else is
have.
impressive? Zen Mikowski. They asked Carter Smith about Zen. He said he's really long in pass pro. He's a fun guy, good person, great to go out with, like great to grab a bite to eat with type of deal. It's like that's what you want your offensive linemen to be: big, physical, and ultimately fun guys. And to your point, they asked him about Mikal Kamara. He said the competition is good for both of them, and it's rubbing off on the other transfers as well. Like Kamara's intensity is rubbing off on guys like Daly and Wyatt, and obviously, like that's the guy you want to follow. And if everybody's following Kamara, who's got the engine revved up for a 20 sack season, like these dudes are gonna be getting after the quarterback.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I've said enough about Mikal Kamara. I mean, he's one of the best players in the country. Period. He's looking to go round one this upcoming year. So if he can just be super violent all year, he's definitely going to get that nod, and scouts are going to love him.
They asked Carter how the week was going, why specifically he feels like day 3 was the changing point, and he said day 1 it felt like it was like a knock the rust off kind of day, but day 3 they put on shoulder pads, and shoulder pads the mood shifted.
Oh, for sure. Pads is always the most exciting day when you go full pads. Yeah, I mean that makes too much sense.
They asked him how he keeps elevating his year 3 as the starter. He said each year there's been a new defensive lineman coming in. So he highlighted Andre Carter. He highlighted obviously Mikal Kamara coming in last year, just like going against guys like that, like really high quality pass rushers and defensive ends, like makes you naturally better.
Yeah.
They asked him about the identity of the offense.
I'd say Mikal Kamara is a bit of a step up to Andre Carter Jr. Now, if it was OG Andre Carter from Cal, now that's a hell of a player right there. Damn, that would have been good reps for him. Move on. We're moving on.
They asked about the identity of the offensive line. He said the identity is play the next play. It's just all about the next play, which I thought was interesting. I thought he was going to say something about like smash the face off of somebody or something like that, but it's just like flush it, move on. I like that. They said what did he learn from the losses last year? He said there's always a little more you can do. The work is never done, and to just like the motivation that these guys like Carter Smith has echoed it, Kamara has echoed it, Fisher has echoed it. Just like these guys just aren't resting on that loss or like being like, oh my god, we played in these big games. It's like no, they're taking things away from these games that are going to make them better players in the future. It's going to help this football team. They also asked him about the offensive lineman St. Elmo's trip. He laughed. He said Fernando's a generous guy. He said it was a great time. He got a filet and some green beans. He said that may have surprised some people. But they got shrimp cocktail, a bunch of appetizers, a bunch of desserts. He said he had no idea what they were ordering. They were just ordering stuff. So shout out to Fernando, taking care of the boys, taking care of the big guys. And I
switch it out a little bit.
Chris Plant, I believe, was the one who pointed this out, but because I missed it the first time. But you know who was the only non-offensive lineman at the offensive line dinner?
I mean, Mendoza.
Riley Nowakowski was there. I'm sure Bamba may have been there too, but I didn't see him. But Nowakowski was there.
Love that.
Yeah.
The 6'1", 240-pound O lineman. Love it.
We got a Kamara presser. They asked him about Mario Landino. Said he's been a guy. He's up to 285, 290 pounds this year. Still twitchy. He's figuring out the 3-tech position. He said playing next to him is great. He's going to be a hell of a player. That is the fact that Landino put on 10, 15 pounds. He's still super twitchy. We saw the spin movie hit today in that video. Just like him specifically playing next to Mikal Kamara, you bring a double team to Kamara and you leave Landino on an island. Like, good luck to your guard. Have fun. Like that dude's gonna wreak havoc.
Yeah, no, we're gonna be really nasty this year. Can't wait, man. They're really going back and forth in this chat. By the way, I'm kind of watching a little bit. Really getting after it a little bit. This Fravel edit.
I don't know if it's the Notre Dame fans are in. They're here.
No, they're in.
They'll tell you they don't care, but they're in the chat. I like it. No, all Notre Dame fans are welcome. The Notre Dame fans are welcome. They asked him about Hosea Wheeler. He said he's a great energy piece, making plays all over the field, just reinforcing everything we're hearing about Wheeler. And this is something I said before, obviously, that Cignetti called out Tucker a little bit, saying that he wasn't exactly where he needed to be in the spring. Kamara talking about Tucker today was like he's getting off the ball, he's low, he's violent, he said he's been hooping.
Hooping. I love that. Oh, he's been balling, man. He's been going crazy in one-on-ones.
He said he's been hooping.
He's been hooping. He's been balling. Love that.
This is my favorite. Actually, this is my favorite quote of the day, and honestly, it might be Mikal Kamara. They asked him what he wanted to improve on the most. You know what it was?
No, I don't.
He said motor. That's crazy. That's crazy. They asked him what was different about going from spiders to shoulder pads. He said it's game day every single day in fall camp.
We heard that one before.
Yeah, I said it before. They asked him what his goals were, and obviously he said you have to aim higher than you can even believe. He said that's why he set it at 20 sacks, because if he shoots for 20 and ends up below it, he's gonna end up at 16. I was like, I love this logic so much.
Why don't you just say 30 at that point? You know, just get to the game.
That's somehow other guys were reacting to him, or how he's like kind of trying to set the example. He said he's usually first in drills. He's more vocal in the film room. If he sees something he needs to call out, whether it's positive or negative, he's trying to be a voice that's heard. And he also said, bring in the energy. He said, if I drag, everybody drags. And so to keep the energy level up. And then on Carter Smith, he said he will be the best tackle in college football.
Love that. Love that. I remember seeing that quote earlier today, and it got me really amped up about it.
Yeah, they are going at it in this
travel
chat.
Edits guy's an idiot. Oh my god, dude. No one knows. Holy crap. We literally didn't play Rutgers last year. What are you talking about? Jesus. God. By the way, Louisville would not smoke us last year. By the way, Jesus Christ.
He's a troll, Brad. He just says things. Dude. He doesn't. He doesn't actually believe them. And if he does,
we probably beat Louisville by 17, and then I'd say Texas A&M's probably a dogfight. I still think we win that because.
Well, the Louisville thing, the Louisville fans,
for sure.
I have to commend the Louisville fans. I've never met a fan base.
Yeah, Louisville also lost to Stanford, dude. Like, I don't know what this guy's trying to get at. I don't know.
Like, what are we talking about? I'm done talking about it. I want to talk about Amari Farrell's press conference. They asked Amari Farrell about Byron Baldwin Jr. He said the goal for Byron Baldwin is to do everything up to standard as a freshman. Obviously, he's still learning, but he said he's always asking questions. He's ready to play right now, but obviously still has a lot to learn too. But very high praise from Amari Farrell, somebody who played very early in his career himself.
Amari.
Yeah. They asked Farrell about this year versus last year. He said this year they're a lot more versatile. That was something that we again talked about before. The ability to do different things in coverage. They asked him about his comfort level. He said, "Oh, go ahead."
I mean, I was just gonna call it like Boykin and Farrell. Like those guys are all very versatile. Baldwin's probably gonna play a few different positions. Jaja Boyd's very versatile. Could probably play corner and safety as well. So much talent in that room. Yeah.
All right, I'll go back to the chat one more time. It is a little ironic that Fravoledis is talking about how unbearable it is.
Dude, I am the master of the
Hold on, Brad, can I make a damn point? Can I make a point?
No.
Can I make a point?
No.
The guy is talking about how unbearable Indiana fans are while listening to two Indiana fans talk for at least 10 minutes. So I don't think he doesn't have to be.
Yeah, you're literally the one talking right now. It's insane. Yeah, it's a good point, Keys.
It's a choice to be here. I'm glad he's here, but he's
great. Like and subscribe, really. For real.
Like, comment, subscribe, Indiana
like
at the Voice of College Football.
Make sure you're watching on the YouTube live.
All that good stuff. They asked Farrell about his comfort level this year. He says he knows the playbook in and out. He's communicating with Fisher constantly, and he said when there's a check or something to be made on the defense, he knows he's one of those guys that can help keep people calm. They asked him about who's playing Rover, who's playing safety, or how many different guys they have for that. He talked about Bryson Bonds, Byron Baldwin, Jaja Boyd, Garrett Reese, Louis Moore, Boykin, again, to highlight the versatility they have in that
Oh
room.
my
Another
god,
guy
so
he
many
didn't
more
mention
guys than
who.
I was expecting.
That's what I'm saying, dude. These are all
Bonds,
specifically
man.
mentioned
We
by.
talk about all these guys and then just like Bryson Bonds just around, a really talented player, always had high praise from the Tom Allen staff and as one of the better DBs in the room. And he's just sitting around as a backup depth piece, and he's a senior and he's a special teams ace, and we just have so much like luxury on this team. And Bryson Bonds, your Bryson Bonds is your Isaiah Joneses, just so much luxury in terms of depth that we have.
Yeah,
It's very
Bryson
impressive.
Bonds was a very highly rated recruit and a guy
For Notre
who
Dame fans, like we're
was.
not used to this, we're new. This is new to us having the depth. So now we have the depth. Already went 11-2. Can you understand why we're a little excited? Can you just try
I
to
don't care.
maybe
I really don't
understand?
care if people.
I
I
don't
don't care
care
if
if they
people
do. I'm just
understand
trying.
it
I'm
or
trying
not.
to spell it
And
out.
like I said last week, like the confidence that Indiana fans have and are operating with should terrify people. And the confidence comes from the preparation that this team is doing, from the work they're doing on the recruiting trail. If you just look at the guys they have in the rooms, you look at the quarterback, you look at the running backs, you look at the receivers, you look at the offensive line, you look at the defensive line, you look at the secondary, you look at the linebackers, at every position on the field, they have all conference level guys. Like they're going to be a good football team. I hate to break it to everybody who just wants it to be a one hit wonder and all that good stuff, but like things don't happen by accident. And the work that this Indiana team has done in the offseason to both build this roster and develop it, they're going to be good again. They're going to be good again.
Yes, they are.
They asked Amari Farrell about D'Angelo Pons. He said he's just a dog. He said, I don't have to worry about him. He covers half the field by himself.
Yeah, dog. And we have, really good corners in the wings, filling in depth. And we're going to be running those different schemes this year. Hopefully Pons maybe gets his, interceptions up. We do bring back two of the top 6 interception leaders in the conference. No one else can say that. So, I'm just looking to get more, more playmaking from those guys this year. Something I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing out of them.
They asked him about his progression. He says just getting better every day. Asked him about Lewis Moore and that connection they have. He says he's a great player that'll help us out a lot. He said they're bringing back some old chemistry to some new chemistry. And then on your guy,
Are they like roommates, best friends, like Farrell and Louis?
I was expecting a little bit of a stronger answer there than what we got from Farrell, but yeah, I think from what he said in the spring, they're boys. On Devon Boykin, he said he brings a lot of football IQ. It's a guy who's played a lot of football. To your point, he was on those NC State teams. The guy's seen a lot of football, and it's allowed his IQ on the field allows him to play fast.
Naturally, just understanding the playbook, playing fast, physical, relentless, smart, disciplined, poise. It's all the same things we hear over and over and over again. It's really being honed into these guys, and they just live it.
Yep,
it's insane. It's only stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking months, stacking years. Just excited to see where we're at in January.
I'm pumped, and I'm excited for week. I'm literally excited for week 4 to get the chance to play Illinois, and it's like I know it's like they're bringing back 18 starters. People are really high on that football team, but it's like look at who Indiana's bringing back and brought in, and how quickly they were able to assimilate guys into their culture last year. To look at the team that was better last year than Illinois and upgraded everywhere, to not say they're going to be better than Illinois again, like it's okay.
It's okay.
It's
He's
okay.
just trolling, It's
No. I'm just saying, like
he's buying into
he's
the
not.
Kool-Aid.
I'm not talking to just the guy in the chat here. I'm talking to the general public of you can only not buy in for so long. Like you can only say Indiana hadn't beat a ranked team for so long. Like in 25 days, the season starts and pads hit pads. And in week 4, they're going to play a ranked team. Illinois is the number 12 ranked team in the country, according to the college football coaches. We'll see what the AP poll says next week. Now, if they hold up their end of the bargain, they'll go into Bloomington, Indiana 3-0, just like the Hoosiers. And then we'll get to see what each team's made of. I like our guys. Illinois proved against a South Carolina team that beat ODU by 4, brother. Like, what are you talking about? Like that, it's okay. In 25 days, we play football, and like they get to prove it on the field, and that's the beautiful thing. And that's like
Can't wait for that
I'm
game.
a giddy, and like I can't contain myself. Like I can't help myself, and I'm gonna keep tweeting, and I'm gonna keep like saying things that are pissing people off because like in 6 weeks when I'm able to turn back around and be like, I told you, I'm gonna really enjoy that. And so Fravo edits, I hope you're back in the chat after the Illinois game.
Yeah.
I really do.
The preseason darling is
Yes,
always pans out,
Indiana
right?
beat Michigan, who's a top 16 team in the country in the like, and also beat the defending national champions. So yeah, that is a fact. Bielema versus Signetti will absolutely be cinema.
Love it.
That'll be an epic week of press conferences, an epic week, epic like in-game interviews, and we'll definitely see some chicanery from Bielema. We know he likes to play the games.
Yeah.
But I like our guys. Got any closing thoughts here, Brad?
No, I think we covered a lot here today. And you know, Illinois is the preseason darling. You know, if you watch back any college football season, the preseason darling always pans out and has the season that they're expecting. And so, yeah, I'm really pumped for a week 4 matchup with Illinois because they're going to be really good, just like everyone's telling me they are. And yeah, like the team that lost to Minnesota and only beat Rutgers by a touchdown and only beat, Purdue in 5 overtimes they're going to be really good this year. And I'm pumped for week 4, because it's going to give us a really big test early on in the year. And we got, it's only starting a really, like people show on our schedule, like we have a 4-week slate of Illinois, Iowa, and Oregon, 2 of those on the road. I don't know. I don't think that's a weak schedule by any means. We get out of that 2-1, 3-0. I mean, we're cooking for the playoff again. Like, suck it,
Yeah, this like
get over it.
The fact of the matter is, like we've stated multiple times this show, like the talent level on this team is being completely slept on, and that's okay. Like they are going to have a quarterback who's going to make a difference in games. They have playmakers that are going to make difference in games. Like they have guys on defense. They got more athletic. Like it's, could not be more excited for this Indiana football season, and I am keeping receipts. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
I will be keeping receipts. Frazzle, there is a world where Illinois has to go to Duke, go to Indiana. They get USC at home. They get Ohio State, and then they have to go to Seattle. There's a world where they're 4-5 going into November. That's all. I'm just going to put that out there. There's a world 4-4, right? No, 3-5.
And I'm not gonna I'm not overlooking a road trip to Iowa for Indiana either. Like that's
I'm not overlooking that by any means.
Indiana, like,
don't mention USC. I'm an LA guy. I was raised on West Coast ball, Frazzle. You don't know anything about this show.
He's about to lose it because they're running from Notre Dame.
They're coming. They're coming.
You want to talk? You want to talk about a school that's actually running from?
About it.
All right, I'll end with this. You want to talk about a school that's actually running from a series? Like USC is actively running from the Notre Dame series, and like I get it.
Rivalry in the country. Like, I'm a UCLA guy. I'll say USC Notre Dame is probably the top rivalry in the country, and they're just running away from it.
It's the same reason. It's the same reason why Signetti's canceling all these meaningless non-con games. But at the same time, like what you just said, traditionally that rivalry should withstand the test of time. And no, USC should not be defended. Like
2 very wealthy schools going at it.
Even if the conclusion becomes, I was gonna say, even if the conclusion becomes like you remove a Big Ten game from the schedule for USC and they play 8 Big Ten games in Notre Dame every year, like I'd be cool with that. I don't even care. They should be playing that game every year. They should just play like they're like you want to tell me Notre Dame isn't like a upper level Big Ten team, like that couldn't count as a conference game, quote unquote. Like I don't know, they could figure something out. But they're clearly doing it so they have a better shot at making the playoff. But it's like that's where it's like when you start changing, like Indiana versus Virginia, like a matchup that has literally negative history, or like USC Notre Dame, like you should go out of your way to try and protect those.
Yeah. No, you nailed it on the head. They just don't want to lose to Notre Dame every year. And I mean, it's smart. I mean, I don't like it. It ruins the sport. I think we should try our best to preserve, rivalries and keep that tradition alive. But it is what it is until we figure some shit out in terms of conferences and are we going to go Super League, things like that. Like it's just going to get weirder and weirder and weirder. Like, Northern Illinois and the Mountain West weird, which is actually happening. Yeah, it's only going to get weirder from here.
It's almost like it'll be Stanford and Cal in the ACC or something like that.
It's insane.
That's what I got.
Dude. Yeah,
that's what I got for this week.
Stanford got a conference game on the road in Clemson, South Carolina. Make it make sense. Help. I need help. My sport is dying. Not really. It's actually as strong as it's ever been. It's going to be a great product on the field. However, the logistics of it, I've gotten really weird. Yeah,
the tradition is dying, and it's sad.
Yeah.
No, we should get.
I want Notre Dame and Kentucky
every
year, Frazzle. If you've heard this show, I want you guys, and I want Kentucky, like every other year. I want to play one of you guys. That's what I want.
2030 or 2031. Like, yeah, we should be playing at least one big time game. But listen, let's crawl, walk, run.
Yeah,
so I don't have a problem.
I'll trust Sig with whatever.
Yep. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to Indiana at the Voice of College Football. We are fast approaching 500 subs. That's the goal before the season starts. I believe we're at 568 right now. So I think we're going to push right up against the looks like at least the way we're trending. So we'll see which way it goes. But follow the Voice of College Football on Twitter. Follow Indiana at the Voice of College Football on Twitter at Indiana VOCFB. You can follow me at Alec Keyser. Follow Brad at Bradley_Loomis8. It's no longer on, our Twitter handles aren't on the screen anymore. Appreciate that. Appreciate the sub, Fravel. You're calling him Frazzle. It's Fravel.
Favorite Notre Dame fan.
Nice. Yeah.
We need a friend today.
Follow the Sigs Inside account on Twitter and TikTok and all that good stuff. And, just be on the lookout. We're dropping videos throughout the week. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Fast approaching the season. Football is in the air. We'll see you guys next week.
Hang loose. Enjoy the last few weeks of summer before football comes around. And we're locked in on bars every Saturday. College game day. We're so back. Let's go.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.